we're going to talk about In-N-Out Burger. I don't know the name. A behind-the-counter look at the fast food chain that breaks all the rules. That's the book. I'm the only one who read it, I think. You guys haven't read it.
I didn't read the book, but there's a guy, it's not a guy's name. It's like a YouTube channel, and it's like a name. It's not a person's name. I watched a video about like the history of it and like all that stuff.
Did you like it?
I didn't read the book or watch the YouTube video, but I've eaten at In-N-Out Burger before.
I've done none of these things.
Okay, so maybe we should start with the biggest question. In-N-Out or Five Guys?
In-N-Out.
In-N-Out.
Me, Andrea?
I've only eaten Five Guys.
Well,
and I got food poisoning, so In-N-Out Burger?
Yeah.
In-N-Out Burger wins by default. I also choose them. I think Five Guys is good, but their burgers are too big. I like In-N-Out how it's like, you don't feel like completely full after, but now I'm getting off on a tangent.
But also animal fries. Like, I'm obsessed with the like sauce from In-N-Out Burger that's really just Thousand Island dressing. I think it's amazing.
It's not. There's more to it than that. But it's similar. But they actually took a long time to develop that sauce, which is something you would know if you read the book, but you didn't, so it's okay. I'll give you a brief synopsis. Ross is coming in, and now he's going to be famous. What? I don't know where her collar is. Oh, it's right there.
Sorry,
he often asks me where things are, and they're right in front of his face. I think it's a game he plays.
I think it's a boy thing.
I honestly don't know. I thought this was about the marketing behind In-N-Out because it was like a book we were reading for work, so I thought it'd talk about like marketing tactics since I work in marketing. It is not. It is a really just the story of how In-N-Out got started with the two founders from like the very beginning. It's like it goes back to like the husband and wife who started it, like their grandparents and their parents and how they immigrated to America. And so it really talks about it from like way before In-N-Out and then how everything led up to the store being created, which is really cool. I actually ended up really liking this book, even though it was not what I thought it would be about. But overall, there's Harry Snyder and Esther Snyder, and they meet and they get married and they live in California, and they end up starting this little like mom and shop pop restaurant. And it just happened to be at a really pivotal time because in America, everything started transition from like home cooked family meals to meals on the go and more of the fast food era. But it was like started really at that pivotal point at the beginning. And Harry actually came up with the Two-Way Intercom that you see in drive-thrus today. He started that like 40 years or something like that before McDonald's even started using them. So it was awesome before its time. And he had a different philosophy of like where, some people might see success and then be like, oh, let's open another one. I'll take out some debt and we'll get another location started. But what he would do instead was like very much more of the miser mindset, I would say. And he would save up all the money for the land first and have everything so that he didn't have to go into debt to make more stores. And so, yeah, it was very smart and safe kind of way of thinking from the very beginning. And he really focused on not only like his employees, but the customers. So they had a lot of rules like how the employees always have to maintain eye contact with the customer. They always use fresh ingredients. Like he really wanted it to be one of the best experiences and like a happy time in and out. So that's kind of the synopsis, and then how everything kind of went from mom and pop shop to like millions of dollars of business where they are today. Also, I forgot to mention, it also goes over why they have such a loyal following and how they cultivated that versus like McDonald's, which you would not say probably has a loyal following at all. People eat there because of out of default, whereas you might be more inclined to like actually look up an In-N-Out and go to it.
Right. They have like this exclusivity factor that like a couple other stores or restaurants or something have, but I think they're a big one that have it. I feel like Dutch Bros has that too, but I don't know if I think that just because my husband is like the only person in that club. He's like a diehard Dutch Bros, so I don't know if I think that, but they remind me of that. There's like a couple other ones that it's like a cult. I think of TV shows too are like that.
Like The Office, like cult followings.
Yeah. Trying to think. I was just talking about something the other day with it, but I can't remember. But there's a couple brands and stuff like that that have achieved that like exclusive club.
Hey, Brian.
Hi, Ryan.
Dude, everyone's gonna be famous today.
Hey, we're waiting on the other two husbands to show up in the back and be like, hey.
I'll tell you a fun fact about In-N-Out Burger. So Harry Snyder, the main like husband who started it, he didn't allow women to work there for like the first 30 years of it being in business because he didn't want there to be any hanky-panky going on behind the curtain. He didn't want the guys to get distracted or the
girls are the cause of hanky-panky all the time. I forgot.
Right? I thought that was kind of funny.
I for some reason the article or whatever, something I read, they called when they talked about how their granddaughter is the president now. And she's like 33.
Spoiler section.
Oh, that's not true. I don't know how you spoil a restaurant. It's public knowledge.
Okay, let's do spoilers.
Andrew, get your hands up. Good God.
Spoiler time. This is a crazy story that I want to tell you because I think you'll find it as fascinating as I did. Everyone basically dies in this book.
I thought you were kidding about that when you told us about this.
No.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Dead serious. Pun intended.
Or like, I don't remember this aspect.
Dude, it's crazy. Okay, so Harry and Esther, they have two sons, Rich and Guy. And then they adopt a third son, basically like through foster care, who just lived in their neighborhood. Anyways, they adopted him. His name's Wilbur. Okay, so first Harry dies of cancer of some sort at like age 63. Then his responsible son, Rich, who like worked at In-N-Out since he was like young, moved up the ranks. He became CEO after Harry's death. It was kind of a falling out between him and his brother, even though his brother was the kind of labeled in the book as the more irresponsible one. I don't know how the light way to put that. It says in the book even, like he was into drugs, alcohol, racing cars. He was just definitely more of the wild child, I would say. So Rich, good son, takes over the family business. And then he is in an airplane one day traveling from a store opening back home with his like other executives, and they get in a plane crash and they all die. And so then like all the top execs are dead. And so then the other son is like legally in place to take over as CEO, even though he has not been an active role in the company for like a long time, if ever. So then he starts running the company, and then he dies of a drug overdose. Okay, I should backtrack. Before Rich died, the other son, Wilbur, the stepson, dies in a car accident.
Oh my God.
So all three sons died, Harry died, and Esther's still alive. And then Esther takes over for a bit longer, but she's older. She's like 70. And then eventually, like technically, I could be getting this kind of a little bit wrong, but like interpret my words with like that little like approximate sign. So approximately, Lindsay, the granddaughter, is supposed to be in charge of In-N-Out, but she's quite young. So one of the other like higher ups of the company takes it over. And then when Lindsay is older, she actually takes it over because she basically inherited everything because there's no one else to pass it on to. Even though Guy, the kind of the wild child, was married he married a couple times, but he got married and had 2 stepdaughters, and before Lindsay was born, I believe, and they didn't receive anything. Like after he passed away, they weren't given anything, and all of it went to Lindsay, and she is now and still CEO of In-N-Out Burger, and Esther passed away.
Yeah, I that's what I guess I didn't know the death part, but I knew Esther, it technically went from Esther to Lindsay, which I was like, why did it skip a generation? And then Lindsay is also into race cars.
Yeah, she is. You can follow her on Instagram.
And she is also described as reclusive. She doesn't do a lot of interviews, and she's like out of the limelight, but she is seen most often like at race stuff. So
yeah, that was like not a turn I thought the In-N-Out Burger book would take.
Yeah.
This family story reminds me of U-Haul. You guys should look into U-Haul. That one's like murder though, not just death.
What?
That one's like hitmen and murder within the family.
Is there a book on it? Or like a documentary? Or how do you
know? So that the same, I will have to get Dylan to tell me the name of that YouTube channel. And he just, all the people of that channel do is like talk about the history of big businesses. And they're like, give you all they like run it down. That's how I knew. And I went down a rabbit hole one day with Dylan, and we watched like about all sorts of companies and stuff. But U-Haul stands out in my mind because there was like a hitman for like someone's brother and son, and there was like somebody got murdered. They went to trial in like the 2000s. So, and it was all very quiet. Like most people don't know anything about it. I don't know how they kept it quiet, but it kind of reminds me of that, the In-N-Out one. There's a couple other companies that are kind of interesting to read about or listen about.
What? Did you like the book?
I did like the book. I would rate it. Okay, I should rate it. I would rate it a C- because the story was intriguing, but like I summarized it all for you very well. I think there's a lot of other fluff in this book that I just don't think is extremely pertinent to know unless you're really into franchising and other stuff like that. I think you could watch this YouTube video and get everything you need from it. But if you're really into In-N-Out, you can read the book. But the downside of reading the book, and another reason I rate it C-, is because it makes you eat In-N-Out all the time. Like, it talks about how juicy the hamburgers are and how they use fresh beef, and like they cut the tomatoes so well, and they have animal fries in the secret menu, and you're like, I need In-N-Out. And so it did not contribute to my hot girl body for summer. Negative contributions to that.
It's all part of the marketing scheme. Let's put out a book, but also describe our menu in it so that people go to it more.
Right? And then one more fun fact. On the cups, there's John 16.
Yeah, they're religious.
Yeah, because the CEO guy, Rich, the kind of like good one, he was very religious and he put that on the cups. There's another thing too, but I can't remember. I think it's on the wrappers. There's
something on the wrapper of French fries.
In-N-Out burger. Eat it. Don't read it.
I'm a little confused though. Like they're super religious, but they made food an angel on the cover of their book. Like that seems weird.
I didn't even notice that. Maybe that's why they chose it.
Because that's their like
religious.
That's livelihood.
Is it an angel though?
They're worshipping false idols.
Yes, look at that, Andrea. Call them out. I mean, it's beef, like worshiping cows, right? Like this has happened before and God doesn't like it, you guys.
Technically, they didn't write this book. Someone named Stacy did.
Who the hell is Stacy?
Who are you, Stacy?
Who are you, Stacy? Why'd you choose this cover, Stacy? What's its real meaning?
Freaking
whatever.
Stacy.
Stacy's probably like, I wrote the book, I didn't illustrate it.
Who's the illustrator? We need to track them down.
Stacy. Who's that illustrator? Okay, we gotta. I'm just yelling at Stacy now.